Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel today and welcome back to the 2023 Board Game Buzz Holiday Gift Guide. This is a video series where I put together 10 different videos, each video focused on a specific group of people and games that I would personally recommend for you to look into if you are looking into purchasing games this holiday season. Games always make the best presents in my opinion. So if you're looking into buying lots of games, definitely check out this video series that I'm doing to see if there are any that might pique your interest. This specific video though, we're actually going to be focusing on cooperative games. So games that everybody around the table are working together to try to solve and win. So if you personally enjoy co-op games, or you have friends or family, or you want to have a game that everybody sits around the table and we're all working together trying to beat this thing, I would definitely recommend looking into this list of ours and seeing if there are any games in here that you would be interested in. So without further ado, let's jump into this list.
If you know someone who loves cooperative board games and loves an immersive board game experience, then Arkham Horror the card game is definitely one that you should check out. The core game by itself is a 2-player game, but you can play with up to 4 if you have two of them. And then there's so many different expansions that you can add on to it, and you can play it like a campaign game. So you start off in your scenario, and it's set in the world of Cthulhu, based off of the Lovecraftian kind of story, and you play as a hero, and the different choices that you make do determine future gameplay. So for instance, if there's a professor that you could go talk to, and then maybe he needs to be saved. Or maybe you could leave him there to be eaten by the creature that is coming to attack, and you can decide whether you want to do that or not. And that will determine your future gameplays. It's so fun. It's definitely a way to really immerse yourself into, I'm pretty sure on the Fantasy Flight website about it, it says it kind of is a good game that kind of rides the line between a role-playing game and then a board game. So if you really, we already talked about theme, but this game is it kind of hits all those things on the mark. It's a great 2-player game, it's a great cooperative game, and it's a really great thematic game. So it's definitely one that would make an excellent gift for any gamer.
So this next game was actually probably the newest game, at least to me, on this list. And when me and my husband sat down to play this game, I was expecting, for it to be good, because I'd heard a lot of good stuff about it, but I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I actually did. And that game is Skyteam. Now in Skyteam, you're basically somebody's playing as a pilot and somebody's playing as the co-pilot, and you're working together to try to land a commercial jet. And how you do that is at the beginning of the game, you kind of discuss about what options you might want to do, or things that might need to be done for that round, and then you both secretly roll dice, and the moment those dice are rolled, all communication stops. So you're no longer allowed to verbally communicate with each other, but you take those dice that you rolled and you're placing them on specific parts on the dashboard of the plane, so either the engine or the wings or the brakes, and you're trying to again land the jet. So you're trying to activate all these switches, you're trying to clear the runway, you're trying to descend at an appropriate speed, and it's just so fun to do that and try to work together without communicating. It adds a really, really good tension to the game. It's a quick game, and again, for a game that lacks communication, there is an insane amount of tension and fun for this game. So I absolutely had to put Skyteams on this list because it really did kind of blow me away this year.
One of my personal favorite cooperative games that I've been able to play this year is Aeon's End. It is such a fun and interesting cooperative game. It's a new take on deck building, and the thing that I think is so interesting about it is that when you acquire new cards, you don't just, and then you have your discard, you don't just reshuffle your discard pile to be your deck. The way that you place your cards, you have to place them in a specific way, the cards you buy first, you have to discard first, and then any actions you did, and then your money goes on top of that. So what you do is then you just flip it over and then put it back. So there's no shuffling that has to happen, and I think that adds a really interesting element to the deck building genre. But it's not just about deck building, it's also about these really interesting, terrifying monsters that you're fighting. You have like these portals that you have to open that allow you to place a spell, and then and those spells have to charge, and then on your next turn you can choose to cast those spells to target the main boss or his minions or the whatever you are up and fighting against. And there are some really interesting player interactions that can happen due to the different cards. And one of the other really great things about this cooperative game specifically is it's got such great replayability, because you're not going to be playing with the same cards to purchase from every time. Those are going to switch up. So even if you're playing the same boss, the cards that are going to end up being in your deck are going to be different than what was there before. So if you know someone who really likes cooperative games, you should definitely give them Aeon's End.
Now, a game that is always hitting our table, like I would probably say at least once every other week, is Meisterium. My daughter absolutely loves Meisterium, and it just is always hitting the table for us. So if you're not familiar, Meisterium, somebody is playing as a ghost who has been murdered, and everybody else around the table are basically playing as psychics, and they're working together trying to figure out who killed the ghost. And as the ghost, you are looking through visions and handing out visions to the psychics, trying to direct them onto what particular person, in what particular room, and with what particular weapon. And so you're trying to direct them, and it's just it's such a fun like mind game, and it's so fun to play as the psychics trying to guess, but in my opinion it's even funner to play as the ghost, to trying to piece together all the puzzles, trying to figure out the ways how to direct them to this person instead of this person. It's just a really, really, really great cooperative game that, again, hits our table all the time. My daughter's always asking to play this game. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you or something that your family would enjoy, make sure to check out Meisterium.
My final recommendation for a great cooperative game to play, which could also make a great stocking stuffer, FYI, is The Crew. And there's either The Crew Quest for Planet 9 or The Crew Mission Deep Sea. And I personally would recommend either of them. It is a cooperative trick-taking game, and there are several missions that you can play through. So you complete the first mission, and each mission can get harder, it gets more complex and harder to fulfill as time goes on. So the first mission you do, you're like, all right, I can do this. That wasn't piece of cake, but then it gets even a little bit more difficult to try to meet the criteria of the trick as the game goes on. It's really fun. I really like it. It's a great price point. It doesn't take too long, and you can choose to go as far into the game as you want, or if you lose, you can choose to be like, okay, I'm gonna call it quits for the night, and that's good. Like I said, I would recommend either of them, but I guess depending on who you're buying for, if they like a little bit more of like an ocean theme or they like a space theme, you could go either way and kind of cater to the person that you're buying for. So that's why The Crew is on my list for one of the best cooperative games that you should get for Christmas this year.
Thank you so much for watching this 2023 Board Game Buzz Holiday Gift Guide. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't yet subscribed, it would mean so much if you could. It really helps support us in everything that we're doing on the channel.
Like and comment all the things.
All the things, all the games you're getting this holiday season, and we'll see you next time.